Just pretend it isn't there.
What are you doing?
Recording some of it.
Oh, just for the...
I haven't really used it yet. I took it outside for a little bit, but it's always fun to record simpleton things. Like, I was thinking about...
We were sitting around doing this, and Justin had a plan. The plan to record.
Bill, imagine, like, how funny it would be if there was, like, a full, like, video of a game back in, like, 8th grade.
There was one.
Well, not just, like, a 5-minute snippet, but, like, you recorded the whole thing.
There's just some conversation.
I think I've seen that. Was that the one where we were in Carter's living room?
Yeah.
Or not the dining room?
I should just get mass arguments were abound. Like,
I should just get a little tape recorder and start tape recording all the conversations, because there's so many where you sit there afterwards and you're just like, you know how great that would have been to have on tape?
Yeah. Recorded everything they're saying.
Yeah, with the exception of, like, tonight it would have been like 2 seconds. Oh, maybe that's what I'll do for Phil's birthday party.
Or we can just play the tape guy for him.
Okay, now, you guys are out on the ledge, and you look farther down to try to figure out, okay, where are we going to go from here? And then you realize that you kind of have to go back. Plus, that's probably the direction you want to go. So somebody pull off a map. Since you're going to New Sylvanos, you probably should see where you're going.
Yeah, we can't do back down the path. Oh, we don't need this either. What did you just do? Wax?
Paper cut?
Wax. Full.
Okay. Now, you crossed, you came up here. What happened to you? You climb the mountain and then come halfway down the other side. So, New Sylvanos is here. So you'll probably want to come down and then
we're going to take that river.
Follow the river.
Yeah, we'll follow the river.
Alright.
Make a directional sense roll, Baga.
Okay, I'll grant you that once you get back over, because you'll have to retrace just a little bit of your steps back over the river.
Okay.
Now, as you might have predicted, something has gone on with the wagon. But you get back, and sure enough, there's, blackened pieces of wood and everything around. And then, after Chuck performed his rites and stuff. But then you notice that the bodies have not disappeared, but there's less of them. Now, even after the fire, there's still like a strange absence of bones and everything. And then, in the middle of everything, there is kind of like this black gem that resembled what was in the box that Baga had found.
Oh, correct.
Okay.
Is it the black gem core?
You don't think it's the same one that was in the box, but it may be similar. And you don't detect anything evil, like their bodies weren't raised and now they're off and running around in the hills, as if somebody or something came and took them, or, something like that.
Take the gem.
Or taken what's been left.
Is the gem evil?
Yes, you detect evil from it.
We need best guard that.
You don't really want to have anything to do with it, but you realize that taking it might be beneficial.
Yeah, it'll prevent it from getting out to people who
I wrap it up in the cloth. I put it in its own bag.
Okay, who's going to carry it?
Baga.
No, I
Why are you
won't.
giving me the
Baga,
because they're strong.
You've become the new Phileas.
Well, Baga's strong. He could, defend against.
With my framed massive total of 6 hit points.
Alright, well, we're going to have to,
Of what?
I have 6 hit points. I need to roll my level.
Yeah, you don't get it back right
Wait, what are you
no,
talking
I
about?
But I rose the level at the break.
Oh, okay.
So,
Go ahead. Minimum is 6. 9.
now.
Christ. Nice it
Is
is.
that 11?
44 hit points.
Yeah, maximum.
Afraid of you. Alright.
Alright, you descend the other side of the mountain without any encounters, and now, looking at the map, you show it to Baga, and he's like, I think we should go this way.
Alright,
So-
well, we haven't, taken a break and eaten, so we're going to take a break.
Alright, at the bottom of the mountain. Well, you went in around mid-afternoon. You were easily in there at least a couple hours, so it's getting pretty dark.
It's just camping.
Yeah, we'll camp and rest and sleep and eat.
And
all
eat
that fun
the
stuff.
other good berry.
I'm going to sleep all night long so that I can memorize many spells tomorrow.
Makes sense.
Okay, Othello is going to grow another good berry bush, since it is in need. Good berries! Alright, 5 more good berries.
Truth.
Now, bear in mind,
I
he's
would
saying
like one.
that good berries also act as a meal.
Right.
So if you
Why
eat a
I
good
ate
berry, you don't have to eat a meal.
Alright, I eat a good berry.
And then he will
This trip
consume
gonna take a while.
another one. Well, you're not too far from Eusilvanos, who says you have to immediately seek out
We need
the
to
temple.
break for a while, because I just, man,
Did we decide to carry that corpse?
no, I buried it.
Oh, good. I mean, yes, that was the wiser choice.
Chuck Kinnan experience for the burial of Phileas. Baga, whenever, since you seem to be lacking in experience, even though you keep accruing levels, like if you do something good in combat, like roll a 20 or kill something large, if I don't give you an experience, then mention something.
Well, what's your-
I'll forget
how much
petty things
experience
like
do you
that.
I have like 80, 85, which is just my maximum.
Yeah, I'm only above him by about 800.
Okay, so it's pretty even then. Alright.
And a chunk of that is, well, that last creature, plus I gained 25 extra
Alright,
experience.
Bill got a lot on the last one. You seem to be gaining some this time. I'm trying to be better with handing it out.
Well, I'm
Well, a
level
lot is
faster
relative
than
too.
just about
I'm also
85.
2,500 experience away from a level.
Sure.
16 versus Chuck's 18 for 5th, you know?
Yeah, so you're only what, about 400 or 500 less than
16.
Tom?
What?
You only have about 400 or 500 experience less than Tom right now.
No.
You said you only need like 2,500. You need like 2,500 for a new level. That puts you to about 7,500.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're only, like I said, you're only about
So we're all pretty
500 less
close.
than Tom.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I had the most. Like I gained a lot that time for that last creature because I just it hit
Right.
a lot. That's where I got like 600 as opposed to. So
Now the night passes without incident. The NPCs are wounded, but they keep watch. And in the morning, you arise, and it's a nice day for what it is, although the darkness is still impending.
Okay, I have to decide on spells to be.
One hit point per night of rest.
Yes.
you know what?
You
I'm
do it
just-
yourself.
I need it.
You do it yourself. Don't worry about me.
I have 11 hit points after healing myself and night of rest. Do we need to eat a meal this morning?
What are my spells?
You'll need to eat a meal today.
There's like 2 good berries left
Yeah.
for 3 of us consume them.
Alright,
No, there's
spells
one
to
good
be.
berry left because
I didn't have. I
fell
had a
one.
stored one.
Okay,
I
there's
got
2.
2 originally.
Well,
I
yeah,
only
well,
ate one,
Ophel
so-
and Sidron both probably should have eaten one just in case. So there are no good berries.
Estelle also casts a create water and then distributes it. He
Wisdom.
hasn't never used it before, but
Yeah, it's
I'll
gotta
fill my
start
wine.
sometime.
I'll like dump whatever's left of my wine skin out and fill it with like the creative water of pure and good.
Alright. 2 flaming spheres for today. Or wait, should I do an altar self and a flaming sphere?
What was your last level? 5,000?
Mine was.
You're taking 250 per hour. Right? Trying to figure out.
I just
Well,
I need it gets progressively harder.
Warriors were the easiest to gain levels with.
No, like thieves are.
If you play by the rules in the book, thieves advance fastest at first
Yeah.
because you get like every time you successfully. Well, if you put the optional rules, every time you use a thief skill successfully, you get 200, which means like, oh, I climb 6 times or whatever, or sneak to some benefit at any rate in your second level. Whereas warriors, their benefit is you get an additional. It's like you get 10 times the hit dice killed per level. So at first, you kill a goblin or whatever, you get 10 extra experience. As you get up there though, like this last thing, 8 dice, I was level 3, I would have gotten an additional 240.
Which is a pretty decent chunk
Bonus.
of XP.
That's extra XP, right? But
Alright,
we're not playing with that, so it's...
I'm going to write down today's spells.
And then mages get... Yeah, fear this. If you play with those rules, mages get 50 times the level of the spell cast times their level. So if if you're 6th level and you cast Fireball, that's 18 times 50, whatever that is, 900 experience just for casting that
Yeah. Casting it.
in combat.
Plus whatever like you murder.
Oh yeah.
Spider climb.
It's just...
There's a temple in Eusilvanos, right?
It's horrible.
Portal. Or,
And I mean like a church temple.
Yes.
If there's a town, yeah.
Hold on, I'll give you the details on it. Reversible?
Good. So we're gonna be going there to get some healing.
No, we've got a lot of... Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't take the gold in the fountain. We killed the thing, and I will as well always claim the reward.
Dumb? Dumb we are, and dumb we shall pay for.
So we say that would have about paid for it. And you know why we didn't take it? Because we didn't have the thief there to remind us.
Yeah. Phileas was too busy being dead.
It was a heroic death. Do not mock him.
You backstabbed it, did much damage,
He got
and
murdered.
then turned around and was spanked. Just spanked.
The club flew in a mighty
Oh!
3/4
The club
spark.
imposed like 18 damage or something.
Oh, Jesus!
It was mighty and Phileas was weak. Result, death.
I would have been dead too. Easily.
Phileas dealt the troll a mighty blow, or ogre, a mighty blow. Wasn't it a troll, not an ogre?
It was a giant troll.
Oh, Jesus, I'm glad we got out of there.
Yeah. Regen and get mad.
What are you doing?
It's like,
Is he scratching himself?
I think so.
Foolish
Yes,
dog.
allergies.
Be gone!
Dealt
Allergies
a
you will
mighty
not
blow
like.
to the foe. He then spun around and clubbed him
Wait, knock. Let's see if I have this spell.
for much more damage than the poison could take.
Beat him in it next week. That's what he did.
Come on, we're
All right.
posing an epitaph.
Let us continue.
Alright,
Yeah.
So in the morning,
Like there's a difference between heroic epitaph and telling the truth. Mr. I ain't supposed to be lying.
your plan is to
It was heroic. He gave up
seek
his
the
life.
river
He
and
knew we might
then go
overcome our
down
foe.
and at some point head towards the coast.
Yeah.
Alright, so you will start off with directional sense roll to find the river. Roll the die and I will enclose this under it. And what is your bonus? Or what is it now?
Alright,
Direction
spells have
sense
been
is
reversed.
18 now.
Or had our companion
18
not
now?
Yeah.
gained,
I fear bug up. Look what the roll was.
Ah!
or had,
It's only because
or
of
had our
that.
companion not
Right, gain experience.
dealt his blow to the creature,
Alright, he leads you successfully to the river.
Veskin, who was sitting on his butt in the middle of the fountain, may well have received the next clothing. There,
That is
that's
true.
the truth.
Alright, the river is growing larger as you descend down into it, and sure enough, there's many huts and farms, some of which are abandoned, some of which, though, are still occupied. And you're coming up on farmland right now, and there's a farmer in a field.
Ah, truth. Time to
It
check
looks like
the
you
languages I speak.
can talk to them.
Well, I thought they spoke Fenal here.
No.
You're in Armagh, this
Back in the
area.
home.
And indeed, I don't speak Armagh,
So who does?
because I took tenure. Chuck does.
Back in the homelands, let's go.
Okay, the farmer sees you and acts quite surprised that visitors are approaching. And then he sees your weapons and your bags and everything. He's like, he sees you and he kind of backs away.
Good day, sir.
Are you with the war?
Well,
Are you part of it? Has it spread this far?
no, we are on a mission that, in order to help them, there are some sites scattered about, clues that we need to find in order to gain some valuable.
Not this far to the west, surely.
Not the fighting, no.
Is the enemy that strong?
Yes.
The enemy is strong,
He doesn't know what you're saying.
and if we do not complete our task, then there may be little hope. But at
We're
this
all sitting
moment,
here and it's just like bibble blobble bang.
the enemy is
Kaplit.
being held.
Dibba.
The enemy is being slowed. They have reached,
I haven't heard much. The only things I have heard is that along the far coast there's been talk of elven ships on the move. Nobody knows what they're doing or where they're going.
Well, hopefully they are.
Do you know
Hopefully they'll
do you know
be
anything
helping
of elves?
Very little myself, unfortunately. We
Hmm.
are going to be seeking them out. Where have they been seen?
Well, on the coast. Now bear in mind you're over here, so you must be talking about this coast because
Outside of the bay?
Polar is down here. Well, yes, I guess in old days they used to sail to Bach,
Yes,
and
they did.
supposedly up to Sylvanos, but not recently. Maybe they have something to do with the capital or the king. But I don't know.
I'd be fortunate if it was. We need all the allies we can get. What all, how many ships have you seen? How far?
Well, I haven't seen any, but there's been rumors.
Uh,
Certain white ships have been seen off the coast.
hmm.
Maybe they're against the enemy too.
Well, the enemy would certainly have no love for them, so they must, the enemies of our enemy, you know.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Well, if you know of any people that have extra food laying around, I know
Or
that's
if you have a horse
asking
and
a
cart
lot.
that could take us into the
Hmm.
Sylvanos.
Or if you know the way to Sylvanos.
I'm afraid I must keep my machines. I am actually growing the food and receiving handsomely for it.
That's fair.
But I can recommend a direction to take. He kind of describes a way that you can relate to them.
Are you familiar with any old temples, ruins, monasteries in the area of New Sylvanos?
Well, there is that priest temple.
Is it a current one? Do priests currently?
I think so. The ones with the white robes.
Yes.
What are they called? 7 heavens or 8 heavens or something.
The 7 heavens. They are going to be some of the more powerful allies that we have.
And that is good.
They're nice to have around.
Alright, well, excuse me, I have to get back to plowing the fields. I think the supply ship will be coming around soon.
Yes, well, they're in. They need your food up there, so.
Okay,
Good day,
he excuses himself and you continue.
We head on over.
The New Sylvanos Templar Monastery, in the middle of the city, a tower without windows or doors, full of
yes.
puzzles. Oh yeah.
We're sacked.
Alright, you walk most of the day, and with his help and Baga's successful directional sense roll, you are coming to the outskirts of it, but it will take another day to actually get there. So you race 2 meals, and it's the next morning.
2.
Well, I'm taking into account like the entire yesterday
day?
and for this morning. Baga, do not gain an extra hit point for that night's sleep. Don't ask why. You just feel a little groggy in the morning.
How many days has it been?
Well, 2 days since you left. But you really haven't stopped for a break yet.
Now, do we still have those sads with us?
No, they disappeared when the spell ran out.
Oh.
As did other things around there, such as Unseen Servant.
Alright.
Okay, well, the next day comes
How many
and...
hit points do you have?
Incidentally, Justin, I basically, since no spells were casted that day, like when we make camp for night,
Okay,
I just recast armor so that it's got the full allotment of like
okay,
hit point basically, and then I memorize the same spells as I have here.
okay. Now as you approach the city, it looks nothing like the outskirts of Christofan. Expecting something similar, you barely notice when you're pretty much on top of it. There are no walls around it, really no camps of refugees or anything. There are considerably more people here than normally, for those of you who have been to New Sylvanos before. And like Christofan, a lot of the city revolves around the bay. So much is on the coast, and there's many ships coming and going. And you notice there's a lot of makeshift blacksmith and carpenter areas that are busy in production. You see smokestacks purging out smoke, and you see like wagons full of wood being carried to the carpenters as if their carpenters are all busy. You see like many boats being constructed. The carpenters are, you see like a pile of weapons being created and arrows and that kind of thing. Now, you figure that this area, for those of you who know the area, such as Baga and yourself, that it is less political and less connected to the League here. So they are going to like run their own show a lot more. So there will probably be less connection to the war in terms of the common man. Like a lot more of the farms around here are still occupied. The refugee situation is not as severe. Generally, there's less connection to the world, but no doubt as the war progresses and gets worse, they will be drawn in just as much. So you find yourselves at the gate and expecting some kind of guard or anything. You detect a lack of one and are free to just walk in.
Sure.
Now inside, it's still a very large city, so you kind of wander through the main streets, and they're pretty much free to go where you want. So if you have any plans for who you want to see or talk to, you can find the Monastery of the Seven Heavens without problem.
Yeah, let's go there first.
Yeah.
All right, it's a smaller building than the Christophan one, but glorious nonetheless, carved out of white marble. And there's some priestly-looking figures with white robes standing around. They see you approach. Greetings, travelers, and...
Greetings.
Yes. You speak Armagh, I see. Are you from here?
I'm from Bob.
Not many people bother learning our language.
No,
But-
as I said, it is my home area.
Oh, okay. Can we help you?
Well, we're looking. Most importantly, we're looking for the Templar monastery that used to be in the city.
Yes, there is one. The strangest building in the whole place. Nobody's ever been in it. But it's peculiar. Before any of us were born, and indeed generations ago, there was erected a tall gray slate pillar. One of the tallest structures here, 50, 60, 70 feet. And many a man,
Invoker evil.
perhaps several hundred men, could join hands and circle around it.
Wow.
Some say, though, it is solid because there's no doors, no windows, no one's ever seen coming or going. No one can get in. There was talk of trying to tear it down. A couple guys took some sledgehammers to it, but couldn't do any damage to it. It's just there, Kids draw pictures on it with chalk. Bums use it to rest their weary backs. What else can I say? Except that we, being in the know, of course, have heard rumors that it has something to do with the Templar and magic, which we know little about. And we have our healing spells, but...
What's a...
Yes.
And what of yourselves?
No.
What do you do? Are you a farmer? You
No,
guys look like you're well
actually,
stocked.
I am of the Seven Heavens myself.
Ah, you are. What are you? A priest?
I am a
You know,
paladin.
you don't look it. I was going to say, but paladins haven't been seen around here for many a year.
I was trained initially in the Temple of Fire.
Or looks resilient for you.
Or the Temple, let me rephrase, the Temple of the Seven Heavens located in
Sneaking up.
Okay, yes. Bach is more to do with the outside world and sins and that kind of thing, so I'm not surprised.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, as part of, I hand him a bunch of coins.
Wow. Thank you much. Why don't we step inside? Now,
How much was that? You gotta save some of that for the Seven Heavens and Christophan. They need that. This place is rich. They have no problems.
right, the guy calls over one of his friends and he's like, Sabah, donation, Sabah. And he's like, you guys look fairly weary, or perhaps some healing and rest is in order.
Oh yeah.
All right, they take you into a large room and there's like food out, so you eat.
I'm like, what's the word for thank you?
Hamzabah.
All right, and then
It was quite a bit, too.
this man walks in. How much?
It was 2 gold and 30
I see.
silver, so.
Gold. Word not heard often. All right, a man walks in with a
And
bowl.
there's still a lot for the Temple of Christopher.
Man walks in with a bowl full of water, and he basically says, this will cure some of your wounds. Instruct your friends to tilt their heads back.
It's a bowl of watery death. Don't trust it.
This is to take it over.
Okay, he approaches you, Bill, and you're like, and he reaches his hand in. You kind of feel water running down yourself, and then the water has this warm feeling, and your body fills with kind of like relaxation and healing. So you are all back up to full.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Except you, Baga. You are 1 point less. You feel almost full, but you're not quite sure.
You will heal Baga of any disease that he may or may not have.
Hey, you know what? 4 more days.
Alright. Hold tight there, Bestman.
All right, the man with the bowl and some of his associates leaves. Now it is the man you are talking to and one
Tell
other
me that
guy.
I'm diseased.
How am I getting diseased?
Why am I not like as
One hit point you probably can
Excuse me. Now, my name is Gleffius, and I am the leader here. So, you spoke of Templar.
Yes.
You seek these? I'm afraid we cannot help other than tell you about that oddball tower over there.
Yes.
You look out the window and above some houses you see this little sphere rising, little cone rising up.
Has anyone ever tried to find an underground passage to it, or I'll translate?
Not really. People aren't interested in that type of thing here. We did try to fly over it once.
In what?
But, well, it was this scroll that enabled something to move, and, well, it was kind of hooky, I don't want to get into it. But on top, it was all slate gray, but I did catch a vision of some plants or some kind of garden, but I couldn't get there. It was like it was, I don't know, I was maybe hallucinating.
Are there crenellations on the top, or is it a flat?
Pretty flat, just as smooth as the sides. And as far as under, well, the plaza it's in is not paved, but, I don't think there's any secret doors or anything around that might lead to it. That type of thing sounds more like you'd find in Bach. A city of sinners, if you ask me. But, of course, we do have seven heavens there, too, so... Aside from that, though... Now then... so you're here for that. I cannot understand what you'd want to do with them. Are they still around? Does anybody live in there?
I don't know if there's anyone in the temple, but yes, the Templar are still around. The reason why that there are so few is that their knowledge has been dwindling over the years through lack of use, basically.
Use and a lack.
We are trying to reclaim much of that knowledge, as it will obviously be of great help in the war that is.
I see.
This way.
Perhaps you'd like to have a look. Go check it out.
Wizards
Yes.
would cast powerful spells and
Why don't you do
paralyze
that,
it up.
and we will provide some beds here for
Very
you
well.
and your party.
Thank you very much.
All right. As you guys are about to step out, he taps you on the shoulders, come here. We were sitting there. I had this chill come over me. I'm not quite sure what it was.
I know what it is!
There was a presence. An
You're
evil
holding
presence
that evil shit.
Yeah.
on one of your party.
That, you don't have a
I cannot
disease.
explain what it is, but
Well,
it did not bode well.
no, it does not. As poorly as you feel about it, it's best
That
if
evil
we.
is like sucking my life.
It's best if we contain it as opposed to letting it roam free. So
I suppose, but try not to keep it in the temple for as short as you can.
we will do so.
I have an idea.
We
You
will
tried
try
to
and
turn
deal
it.
with Well, he would recognize it fellow. Thank you for your observation.
Okay, Othel.
Trust me, there's no one in the
Othel.
party.
He's going to stay behind, even though he doesn't speak the language. He wants to look over some of their tombs or tomes and
Mention that to him. Tell him to think about this crystal.
Yeah. Bedeviled thing.
Like, see if there's any way to dispel it. Because it's evil.
No one here is powerful enough.
Maybe there's like a high priest.
Restator might be able to.
Restator.
Restator might be able to. In the meantime, it saves me and drains my hit points.
All right, so he tells you to come back whenever you want, but you're free to
Fine.
either talk to other people
Carry
or
bedeviled thing.
seek out the mysterious tower.
Carry no evil gem. Gem of doom.
Oh boy, how much does this thing have?
Almost nothing, although it's very cold. Unnaturally so.
I'm telling you.
What is it, a black
Wait a minute. I think I have a scroll of like dispel evil or something.
What you need is like Tensor's floating desk.
Is there any
No.
place in town, a chandlery, where we can get like a metal chest of some sort, a small metal chest?
Definitely. He gives you the address.
Hypnotism.
We're going there first.
Yeah.
It's looking at the metal chest.
Yeah.
That's what the other one was carried in, and it seems
Like
like
a lead-lined chest.
Okay, there's a.
Affect us.
It's a small shop, and
There's a
there's
shop, we don't actually have to find it.
there's a blacksmith in the back, and in the shop, besides chests, there's barrels and kitchen pots and pans, and a small old man with glasses the size of Kong sitting there. Yes,
Hey, sir.
may I help you?
I was interested in perchance purchasing a small metal chest. We're looking for it to have special property, so we must,
Well,
kind of.
let's see. The government's been buying up my chests left and right. Seems they use them to carry supplies for this war business.
Well, we're not looking for so much as a travel chest as maybe a small lockbox.
Let me look in back. Alright, he comes back with something. It's like all metal. Like, do you want a lock? Well, I can give you this for 10 silver pieces. It's finely crafted. A lock will cost you another 10 though.
Okay, you pay for the 10 for the box.
Well,
I'll
hold
pay
on,
for the
hold on a
box.
sec.
Or try it first.
Yeah, do you mind if I...
Make sure it's going to hold what we want to put in it.
Alright, but don't take it anywhere.
No, we're not.
Right here. Does it... Do I still
Alright.
sense the...
Well, you're holding it and the box feels cold, but you figure if you like wrap it in cloth or something to get the gem so it doesn't touch any of the sides,
Right,
it might
okay.
be less.
Very well.
I'm going to do it then?
Yeah.
So you
Right,
want
I'll
a
pay
lot
10,
too.
you pay 10.
Okay.
And Chuck will wear the key around his neck.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, if there's, I don't know, just buy some cloth or whatever. And pat it
Well,
up.
just anything
Yeah.
to keep it from rattling around in there.
Still with dirt for that matter.
Well,
There you go.
you could. You have to mess it and try to open it, but
Get a bunch of holy dirt.
holy dirt.
Go find some.
Yeah. We'll probably just
Priest
turn
like-
it inside of a week.
So?
That'll be evil dirt. It's concentrated evil.
Is it
Don't
evil
touch
dirt?
it. Alright.
Yeah, just put it in there. Once, I probably shouldn't carry the key
That's
in my
good.
chest.
It's wrapped now. I'm carrying 40 pounds worth of books. Actually,
Do you want me to carry something?
no. I entrust the 40-pound bag of books at the Seven Heavens with Othel.
Okay.
I'm like,
We'll see
don't
to
let
it
any of those
what
clerics
happens.
get into it. They have no right reading it.
You have no ability to read it, probably.
I think that's probably true.
The language of magic, dude.
Even if they could read it, they wouldn't be able to use it. Unless it was a clerical scroll. Okay.
Alright, you decide to go check out the tower. At least walk by it. And sure enough, it looks strange.
I'll wander
Or you
around
can
and
get rid of this for now. Alright, let's say that there's numerous other buildings and streets here. And this seems to be one of the major squares of the city. And there's, public houses, large stores, restaurants. And then, looking as if it should not be, there's a perfectly spherical, almost smooth, it's got a couple nicks and stuff in it.
Conical?
But it's cylindrical. It does cave in a little bit towards the top. And like the man said, it's pretty tall, 60, 70 feet. Most of these buildings are 20, 30 feet. So this is about twice as tall. And this is about the size of a person, maybe a little smaller. You walk around it and sure enough, no doors, no windows, no marks, no breaks.
I gotta make my roll.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm fine.
Nothing. You look up and down, and sure enough, there's there are markings on it from kids and bums and travelers, like, Zebuzabub was here, that kind of thing. This is a government building. There's a line of people here, old women with buckets waiting to get some water. This is a pub, and then there's some numerous other stores, and then there's kind of a fair type market over here with people selling fresh food or gain like feats of strength and that type of thing.
Alright,
I have an idea how to get to the top, but it would be a lot of work.
I have many ways, but we need to first
Oh, yes,
walk
you
around
do.
and see if there's any markings, hidden markings. So,
I didn't spot any entrances.
no, I mean like words or runes in the ancient Templar.
I can take a look.
Alright, I look at all the graffiti, like up and down, see if there's any ancient Templar like runes.
Alright, roll 20 cyber. Okay, you find many marks and other things. As a matter of fact, you do see something that involves the Templar, written in Templar text. You recognize it as simply a name. Whether you recognize it or not, who knows, but it looks kind of not too old, but not too new, as if it was made by another Templar who was here, who just put his name on the side.
I speak the name out loud.
Okay, nothing happens.
In Templar, I'm like, enter, open.
Blow the whistle.
I pull out the gnomish whistle and I'm like,
Okay.
walk around.
Alright, as you're about to do that, you hear this voice like below, and you look, and there's like this bum guy. He's like, "It happens to all of us. Here, have another drink." And he's like holding a bottle up to you. He's like, "Don't worry, I've talked to it every time I get drunk. It never talks back though."
Do you know what I said?
Drunk talk to me.
I look at the,
It all
at the
sounds
bottle,
the
I
same.
smell it. Does it smell like ale or?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like liquor.
I'm
The
like,
only thing
here.
peculiar about this, of course, is that he can understand what you're not league, or you're probably talking like league, like generally, but he spoke that. But that
I'm
was
like, who are you?
Try some.
my name's Ashfield. I was a farmer out to the east, but my farm was burned down and my crops were taken. So I came to town and, well, that's all.
Do you know anything about this tower?
It's
I mean,
mighty
aside from
strange. There's rumors though.
Yeah.
Such as
Fabulous riches inside. Anybody who can get in, become a god. There's a guy over there, he told me, you look over there, there's another guy, like, I'm drunk.
I'm like, alright, thanks. Alright,
theoretically speaking, he's probably right.
we walk around and I blow the gnomish whistle.
Theoretically speaking.
Yeah.
Nothing.
We're kind of spread out. I like move to a different position, blow, move like until I've circled it.
Okay, you
And at
see,
each stop I do the Templar greeting. I'm like, enter, open, enchantment, evoker, hilarious.
alright, the only thing peculiar you notice is that you see like 3 or 4 people that have this like gray cloak on. That you saw 1 or 2 of them at first and you didn't think anything of it. But then you see like, you keep seeing them and they all seem to be like walking around the pillar.
Say hello.
I'm like, you there, in Templar.
Nothing.
I'm like, hey, inquire of them what they're doing.
Hello, I noticed that there's a bunch of people, and are they paying any attention to me?
Well, yeah, the one guy stops.
I noticed there's a bunch of you in gray walking around here. Are you connected with the temple in any way?
Yes. I am the leader of the sect of the Gray Stone.
Sad.
Well, you see, since the war started, people have been flocking to the cities and lost and distraught. They're looking for hope and power and magic. So I have become their leader in our worshipping of the pillar. He's talking, like trying to laugh. Well, someday we will be let in. They will reward our faith, and we will become one with the stone.
Who is it that will reward you?
The being inside.
Bah, fools.
Have you met?
I'm climbing this tower right now. Blow his mind.
Have you ever seen the being inside?
some of us claim that we have.
And what does this being look like?
Ah, why are you speaking with this fool?
In
Right.
every legend.
He like babbies on for 5 minutes about like some god inside, and you're like, oh.
Fool!
Alright, then,
Your faith is appreciated and you will be rewarded.
okay, then you notice one, a member of the Seven Heavens approach, and he like taps you on the shoulder. He's like, I was listening to a conversation with our leader inside, and you see, of course, this pillar has always revolved around legend, and some of the not so smart people kind of think it's a being or something.
Yeah.
And ever since the war started, well, their ranks have grown. So don't be deceived by people like him and him and him. You like pointing to like all these people that somehow think that it's going to open up and our problems are going to be solved.
Well, I was merely talking to him in the hopes of gaining some grain of truth out of...
No, there is no grains of truth to be learned with this. This is so old and so legend that it's so mysterious that, you know, anything could be said about it, but nothing is true. The bottom line is, nobody knows anything.
Well, mayhaps you'll know a little bit more when you leave. There is something inside of that we could need.
Alright, I need 100 feet of rope. And a very, very strong grappling hook. I'm climbing the tower. I have ways.
I rope back either, God damn it.
See if your Templar can get that for us. Or your...
There's a chambray.
Well, you can go into one of these stores and buy it for a silver.
Yeah. And the grappling hook?
Another silver.
Oh, okay. I'll buy it back then.
Okay.
Provided.
I coil it up, put it over my shoulder, take off my boots, like pull my sleeves up, like roll my pant legs up so that they're not going to get in the way,
Okay.
pull out my material components, like squeeze out or grab my eyedropper and like get just a drop of bitumen, put it on my tongue, and then I open up my little jar with my leaves and my spider eggs and grab a live spider and I eat it with the bitumen.
Yeah. Bitumen.
And then I perform the spell of spider climb,
I'm up to 117.
which will allow me to tab the tower.
117 what?
Sizet Lin 50 Tillis. Sizet.
Of 235.
Sizet Lin 50 Tillis.
I have another 118 to go.
Alright, you see one of the drunks is like,
50
I
Tillis.
talk like that sometimes too.
Then I go. I climb the tower.
You start to climb. You notice as you do, like, the people down below, especially like the worshippers of the gray stone, like approach the stone and like they're like trying to do it and they're like falling on their butts. They're like, "Ugh."
I'm like,
I guard the rope.
Alright, you notice they're moving closer.
Yeah.
well, I haven't dropped the rope yet, so.
Oh, you just watch
underneath
around or
where-
Yeah, when I get to the
Oh,
top,
okay.
I'm gonna hook it on and then I'll drop it down
Alright,
to you.
sure enough, you get up. Now,
There's no crenellations up there though, which is why I was asking.
here's an elevation.
Put a rope on it.
If there's,
If there
like,
is.
yeah.
Well, if there isn't, you know what we do? You lower it down, we give you 3 more ropes, you tie them all in a knot, we stake one to each side,
Yeah.
and then we can...
Yeah.
That way, you know, they can't slide off the top of it. That's what I was thinking originally, is just get a big old hose that we can pull something up.
Well, and there's 100 feet, so I can easily, like, put it
Yeah.
onto one.
It won't get down both sides.
But I still have my hemp rope.
Oh, that's true too.
So,
Alright,
But you want to do
buildings,
something at a 90 degree angle
square,
to it so it doesn't
round,
slide
pillar.
off.
alright, you see Bill. Excellent. Master. Now Bill, you get to the top. Perfectly smooth. There's not even like a ledge where the edge is. But, you know, you can climb up on top. And sure enough, more of the same.
It's just flat. Is
I
there-
look for,
are there
like,
is
any
there-
kind of secret door. I speak words in Templar.
Roll a 20-sider.
Success.
Yeah, nothing happens.
You failed again.
What about the garden?
Doesn't mean there's actually
Do I
something
see a
behind it.
garden? Do I see
Plants.
anything?
Look for plants.
As you look around, you briefly see something that looks green from below you. But you like pound on the stone and everything, and you come to the conclusion that it's either like a pre-programmed image, a brief kind of like far-seeing device, or some like hallucination thing that they put there on purpose. But
In other words, a
so
sank.
it would appear that there might be a guardian down below, but it could just be, you know, some kind of neat magic. But it has little relevance to your actual like struggles now.
It's a damn mushroom.
Right. Now, am I secure in sitting on top of this thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it won't slide anywhere.
Okay.
I mean, there's enough friction to keep you there.
Alright, then what I do is I tie
It's strong.
my own 50-foot hemp to the 100-foot length,
Okay.
and then I make a coil around, like, so that... So basically the grappling hook hangs over and hooks on this side, and then the rope comes down, like 90-degree
How
angle.
many feet do
down.
you have?
50 plus 100,
150.
150.
Okay, it makes it. Now, as the rope comes down, there's already a large swarm kind of under where Bill went up.
Back off.
Okay.
I start like muscling people out of the way with my shield, gently, but still like
The sect
The
members are
right police
swarming awful
mode.
close.
I
Like,
start right
Take us to the
police
top.
mode.
Lead us to our god.
There's no god up there.
Lies.
I stand to
It
the
was
top.
him. He went up.
If your god had chosen you to go up, you would be up there now.
Just stay here and worship in the dirt or something. I don't know.
He will return. Okay, they're sitting there. So you guys are free to climb up.
We've got a vigil now.
Wonderful. Well, at least if we fall off, we know what to aim for.
That was a bomb. We set up camp up here.
Dude, I'll bet on playback that thing you're gonna see it. It's gonna be like this nasty ass white fuming cloud. Oh, just
Oh, quick, lighter.
Oh, the Zippo is empty.
Zippo's empty, dude. What's
No,
your
that's
penalty?
That was a delayed fireball. Quick. Spark, damn it.
You failed again.
Delayed blast fireball.
Meteor strike is more like it. That more than anything else is power word kill.
Power word fart.
Alright,
Power word stun.
it's gone.
Just
The
gas.
evil is gone.
Alright, now you're all at the top, meaning all
My pen.
you three. And perfectly smooth.
I'm like,
Flat
sure is
plane.
good up here, ain't it? Oh, when we all get up, we pull the rope up.
Okay. You see like
So Sands are like,
sect members
hey!
like,
If there is a concealed door.
alright, you see nothing.
Alright. I've exhausted my spells. Well, I haven't exhausted it. I suppose there's, like, some other options for spells, but not too many.
I don't know where to begin.
What if you just... It's all like one solid piece. It's not been... There's no seam to it or anything.
Nothing, not that you can see.
I just believe it. I don't think this exists.
You fall 60 feet to your ground and die.
Yes,
Oh, the illusionists are Mount White Rock. This is the people who can cast fireball and magic missile on us.
Yeah.
It's here and solid enough.
Well,
I just like...
if there's anyone inside, we must have their attention by now.
I'm like, come on, I'm a Templar! Like, I say it in all the languages that I know. Including Gnomish.
Damn
it. Can I make it like an ancient history roll to see if I remember any legends of this tower and in its relation to New Sylvanost and the Templar? Or maybe any key figures from this temple?
If someone who's badass enough to...
Need a dimension door.
Exactly. Dimension door is solid rock. You're dead. No hope of resurrection.
Alright,
Could be a false temple, too.
Yeah.
Could be a giant piece of rock.
No, this is it.
Like, climbing around.
just
with
hard
a
to
bunch
get
of
in.
Dumbasses.
No windows and no doors. How would you get into a temple with no windows and no doors?
Yeah, teleport. I don't know.
You gotta cut the top off?
Open. Reveal.
alright. Words appear on the top of it that you can read, Bill. And it says, seek the entrance where you cannot see it.
Cedar door.
Underground. Can't see it. The only parts of the tower we can't see are what's beneath the dirt.
Yeah.
Try digging.
Yeah, we can see everything else.
Are there any cellars in the town?
Well, let's see. Wait, what are these?
That's the market.
The market.
Little
The well.
temporary stores.
We could go down the town well and see where that goes.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
I mean, it is a town that's built. It's a port city, New Silvanos. So, I mean, we might be able to do the same kind of thing that we did, like by the docks in Christophan.
Caves out by the shore.
Maybe. If they don't have a running water like sewer system, that's probably our only option. Either that or we just dig.
Are you gonna be able to climb down if we get down there?
I'm gonna climb down with the. Well, you mean
Do you still have time to?
no? Either I climb down by the rope and we, give it a good pull.
Oh no, we can just walk around with it and it'll fall off.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, well, let's climb down and get all those peons to start, digging.
I don't know.
Order them to do it.
Don't get them involved. In fact, we're going to dispel their belief. The Templar are meant for this place to be hidden. We're not going to open it up like some carnival. I go down first.
Okay, sure enough, the sect members are flocking towards you. Tell us what you saw!
My friends,
Of course, well, actually, you can't understand them. They're like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah."
I'm like,
Alright, you get down on your knees.
I wait for all of them to come down.
Okay.
And then I gesture to Chuck and I'm like, tell them this. Tell them that we went up,
We went up.
that God spoke to us,
The God spoke to us.
Right.
and he said the time is not now.
The time is not now.
When is the time?
Not now.
What do we do?
They will see a sign.
We'll see a sign.
The sign is now. God came
Day will
down.
turn to night.
Day will turn to night.
Tonight!
And night will turn to day.
And night will turn to day.
And across the sky will roll great arcs of fire.
And across the sky will roll great arcs
Tonight.
of fire.
Tonight! They're all like,
Across
tonight.
the sky
Tonight.
will roll great arcs of fire.
No, not tonight.
Not tonight. Time will pass, and great arcs of fire will roll across the sky. Then will be the time.
Yes, the time. And he will return, they look at him. And he will lead us in.
Who can say?
Alright, Bill, they're kind of all reaching out to you, pawing at you.
I just laugh.
Trying to grab some of your stuff.
I'm just
yeah.
laughing my ass off at this point. I am just
I growl.
laughing my ass off.
Quickness food, I just niam. I cast a burning hand just up in the air.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
like,
Arcs of fire across the sky.
You
Good
just put arcs of
job.
fire across the sky, you jagged-ninny.
No, it gets in! Lead us in! Alright, they're all in a hysterical rage, okay?
Good choice, Bill.
Failed.
Alright, this is at this point
Again.
when 20 constables come up.
I'm just laughing my ass off at him. That's all I do, laughing for
what I just said.
20
I didn't
minutes.
even think.
You bim!
Alright, the
You were
constables
just
came up.
bim!
Alright, they haul all the sect members away, and they say, you, come with us.
It was just a trick.
Let's go.
Oh,
We're going to
no.
the station.
Oh, I suppose we better bail him out, hadn't we?
Yes.
And you guys, you're in league. Let's go.
What?
Oh,
I was
Now,
laughing at a
just
foolish
take him out.
jest. Yeah, there is that.
Okay, let's go.
Fine, we'll go.